Bitcoin is hitting all-time high after all-time high right now, but now is the time to be really cautious and careful because you could lose everything if you don't know what to look out for, what's about to come next. I will show you exactly what this is, and we will go over so much more content that I have prepared for you today, so you should definitely not miss out on that. And of course, we're also going to talk a lot about altcoins today because this is where is the money at. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. Where is my camera? Is it below here? I think it moved. Give me a moment here to fix the camera. How did that happen? I will be back here in a second. Yeah, there I am, but should be here. There we go, guys. There we go. Here I am. So first of all, I want to talk about why Bitcoin started to pump so crazy to the upside here. And the reason was that Trump announced that he would like to see at least a 300 basis points rate cut, so which is absolutely crazy if we would ever get a rate cut like that. So, and that led to the price frenzy that we are seeing right now in the market. That was the big catalyst for pushing the Bitcoin price to the levels that we are seeing right now. Another catalyst yesterday was, there was a follow-up catalyst in my opinion, was the ETF inflows. We had one of the biggest inflow days for the Bitcoin ETFs here with 10,570 coins to be bought just yesterday alone with, only Grayscale was selling a little bit, which makes also sense for the people that bought a while back at a 50% discount with Grayscale. That was around, I think, $50,000. So they got they got shares for $25,000. Of course, when they get too close to $120,000, they start selling a little bit, or $114,000, doesn't really matter. But yeah, I can totally understand that some investors were taking profits after making a 3 to 4x on their position. But still, it was not a lot because overall the other ETFs, they were all accumulating more Bitcoin. Now, let's talk about the weekly chart. If you remember, guys, I had told you yesterday that I expected we are this week getting a break through this resistance area, which I now marked already green. Then we will get above that. Then most likely next week, we're going to get a cool down where we retest these levels here. And then the following week or the week after that, we continue to pump here in direction of $140,000. So give it time. And I can tell you, if you are now sidelined right now because you have closed your trades or you don't know where to add, don't worry about that. I got you. I know exactly what to do right now. I have seen it 3 times before. This is my 4th bull run right now. I know how things are playing out when we are starting to get here one all-time high after the other. I have seen it all before. It's nothing new to me. And another reason why I believe that we are going to get here a small cool down next week is that the stochastic is here pretty high. Also the RSI starts to be pretty high. But the RSI can stay there for an extended period, but not a stochastic. Stochastic RSI can flatline here maybe in the top area for a week or two, and then we usually get a small correction that we are getting here a small cool down, and then we go up again. Now on the daily chart, here I just want to point really quickly out that we have now full confirmation that the wave 3 of the Elliott wave count is now definitely in play. For the confirmation, we needed a really big breakout above the previous all-time high, and this is exactly what we got with a continuation candle today. And now we're gonna start most likely to consolidate here, and then we get a bull flag or a symmetrical triangle or a pennant for continuation here into the golden ratio of $130,000, $135,000 here on the daily chart. Then here on this daily chart, we have already reached the 1.618 level here from where I had pulled previously the Fibonacci extensions. So that is for me right now a moment to be cautious. That's why I'm saying Bitcoin pullback right now, because you see already we try to break higher above that golden ratio, and we did fail to do that for the time being. There's still, of course, over 10 hours left before the day is over, but I don't see here a scenario that we will push through that by tomorrow or after tomorrow, unless we get another catalyst to help us with that. So there is, from a technical perspective, no reason why we should right now, go a little bit higher. It's just not in the charts, guys. It's not in the charts. Maybe some news will come out that will push us higher, but it's not in the charts that we right now should get another push to the upside for Bitcoin, at least not on the higher time frames. Everything from the 4 hours and higher is suggesting that we are stalling here or get a small pullback, and then we get continuation into higher levels. So then on the 1 hourly chart, was that the one that I wanted to show you guys here? No, sorry, wrong chart. So, but here, 15 minutes chart, that is one that I wanted to show you guys. So levels that I expect where Bitcoin will pull back to. Let's talk about that really quickly. So first of all, you have to understand that we have here vector candles on the way to the upside, or fair value gaps, however you want to call them. So you have one here in this candle, a massive one. So this is of already an area of interest where market makers would price back down to grab liquidity. And you have also down here, also another candle like that. So the first level that I'm personally looking at for opening a new Bitcoin trade would be here, $113,615, the 0.382 level, which is usually a bounce level on the Fibonacci levels, or the between the 0.5 and here the 0.618 in between here. So these are the two major levels and zones that I'm looking at to open new positions or add to current positions. But up here, this starts to look like, already on the 15 minutes chart right now, like a small rounding top that's here forming. That doesn't mean that we cannot turn around and push here just a little bit higher. But what I don't see is here $121,000, $125,000. Definitely not. So put worst, or best case scenario is to get another push to 120 or just before 120, and then everything is turning around. This is also what my gut is telling me from the whole experience from previous market cycles, that if we would get another push, it will be close to $120,000, and then we get the turnaround, the pullback, and that is where we need to position ourselves right now correctly for. When that is happening. If you're not prepared for that and it's happening, you're gonna miss out the next wave, you know. So, or you catch it pretty late and make not as much money as you could have if you would have caught it in the right moment. And a quick shout out to you guys, 130 people here on the stream. I love it. That shows me also that the bull market is back. You know, when there's over 100 people on the stream right now, it's always a good sign. It's always a good sign that the bull market is back. So here on the 4 hourly chart, first of all our patterns have played out, but look here at the RSI. The RSI is already giving overbought with a bearish divergence, and also here price is forming on the 4 hourly chart a topping crown. So topping crown, how is that shaped? You get here one big candle with a wick to the upside, you have another candle with a wick to the upside, and at one point you get a red candle, and the red candle starts going down. So, and this is what we are potentially seeing here right now. If it's not this candle here, then I'm pretty sure the following candle in almost 3 hours. In almost 3 hours will be the one that will push price back to around $116,000, $115,000. So, and this will of course spill over into altcoins, and that's why we need to be prepared here. We need to be prepared for the moment that is when that is happening. But also, on the other hand, congratulations to everybody that was taking here one of these two trades. They have all perfectly played out. And now it's time, like I said, to set up trades in pullback zones. And now I'm looking where I actually had them. Okay, I think not only here. I had set up something else, but it's gone. I don't know what happened here, but okay, maybe I find it later. Maybe I find it later. So let me just mark this out here, guys. Something definitely to write down. If you want to ladder into your buys, then here, that would be a big zone where you can ladder in. From 115,400 to 113,530 is the first zone where I would ladder in. And I would not use all my capital here. So what you do is you use, okay, let's forget about that. That's horrible. I would use here 25% in that zone. 25% where you ladder in your buys for a new long position. Down here in that area, there you use 50% of the total amount. Let's say I have $10,000. So then I use here 2,500, here $5,000. Again, you ladder in these levels if you get that lucky that we come down here. And then when you get the bounce, either from here or from here, that is when you start deploying the rest of the money into that position. I know for newer people that might sound a little bit complicated because you have to do so many things, you know, so, and it might be also a little, it might be just a lot to execute this when you do it the first time. But for that simple reason, you should set limit orders right now, you know, so just set limit orders here according to this and then see what happens. You know, worst case that can happen to you is if you are overloaded, you know, so don't brain-wise, when that's actually unfolding, you have only now opened a position with $2,500 if you have $10,000, and then it starts to take off to the upside, but at least you are now having a position, or it goes all the way down here. Now you are 75% in with $7,500, have almost all your capital deployed, and then it bounces back to the upside and you have no chance to add to that position in that impulse move, which is fine. You know, both is fine. Just be aware of that. So, and if you want to trade, guys, don't forget, trade on BloFin. Non-KYC, really important. And the more you trade, the higher you get actually rewarded right now. You can get a Rolex here, AirPods, Switch, iPhone, MacBook, Apple Vision. All of that is basically guaranteed, you know, so there's not like an if or when, you know, so if you hit these trading milestones, you actually will get this, you know, so trade on BloFin. I'm trading a lot right now on BloFin. I made so much money this morning before I actually woke up. Was crazy, you know, so there is a link in the description of this video. And if you sign up on BloFin and deposit at least $100, you're automatically also in a giveaway of $500 this weekend on this Sunday. So in 2 days, I'm gonna pull 5 winners each for that giveaway. Now let's have a look here on the Bollinger Band. So here's something that I just want to point out really quickly. I told you guys when we start moving out of the Bollinger Bands, that's usually when we also come back into the Bollinger Bands. And if you look closely here now, in the current daily candle, we are outside the Bollinger Band. We are outside. So and I can show you other times. Look here. We outside the Bollinger Band, straight came back in. Outside the Bollinger Band, straight came back in. In most cases, we go close or all the way down to the middle band of the Bollinger Band. So and look where this is right now. So of course tomorrow it will be a little bit higher. Tomorrow I would say the middle band will be somewhere around $110,000 when we are closing today's daily candle and are not getting this candle already massively reversed to the downside. So if we can hold more or less where we are right now, then $110,000 should be where the middle band sits, and that could be a potential target. I'm going to show you here in a moment why. One reason for that is, this is actually, that just happened. Here on the MDX Algo Scalp Gradients, we just got to take profit signal, and this one I would take serious, guys. This one I would take serious. Why would I take this serious? Because it is coinciding with the REKT indicator, putting in 2 dot plots here on the top side of that REKT indicator band, and usually when you get 2 dot plots, or here even 2 before, that is a major reversal indication that we are most likely have put in here at least over the next 2-3 days, maybe early next week, a local top here for Bitcoin. So that doesn't mean that we have now to go down minus 20% before we get the next move to the upside, especially with what's happening in altcoins. So, but it tells you Bitcoin will come down a little bit to cool off before we get continuation. And this is absolutely fine. So, and also here you see there is confluence around $111,400 to $110,400 here in that order block. That is a buy order block. So that might be a target here on the way down over the next 2 to 3 days, in my opinion. So if we are not hitting this in the next 2-3 days, then we have a really high chance that we only get here $113,000, $114,000, something like that, and bounce from there and continue to move here higher. All depends on how much FOMO retail will now get to come here back into the market. But we are not getting any FOMO because we know what's happening. And here on the liquidation levels, also exactly this is happening what I said yesterday and the day before that, and I think the day even before that, where I said to you guys that we're gonna get that move to $116, $117, maybe even $118,000, and that's what actually happened. And then you're gonna see delayed long positions coming in between 112, 111,000, I think I said 110. So, but I was close for now, as you can see here. And what do we see here? We see 100x positions, 50x positions at 111,730 and 112,660. And this will be the range where more longs will now pop in. You're gonna see that. On the way down, people will think, oh, this is just one candle retracing, one candle. And then we will turn around and go up. And you see more people coming in with their longs around these levels here. And this will be the first level where market makers will go in that pullback and target that liquidity before we get any kind of continuation to the upside. So pay attention to that over the next coming days. If you have that indicator, if not, also for that is a link in the description. Down here, like I said, here $107,000, $108,000, something like that. Highly unlikely that we are going down there. First of all, the 50 moving averages is in the way for that as major support, and there's other support levels here, 109,600. Now here around 111,600, there's also some support. So there need to be a lot of support to be broken to try to take out all the liquidity here, unless again we have a crazy world event leading to such a massive drop. When we're going then into the liquidation heat map, then also here you see here there is liquidity building up currently between 112,500 to $110,000. That will be the major area where Bitcoin will pull back to. At least from a liquidity perspective, that is the highest area where liquidity is concentrated right now. Then you see here a little bit below us around 117, 116, and then here around 115 and 114,000. So here 114,000, 113,000, like I said, could be the first area from where we get a nice bounce to the upside. We have to see if that will be short-lived or actually a sustainable move. Then the dominance is dropping, which is amazing, but I will be honest, I am really careful right now with taking more trades. So I have opened a new trade. Most of my other short-term trades, they have all closed already, but I see here altcoins still lifting off while the dominance is going down. But I also see Bitcoin just hanging in there right now, about to drop to the downside, so that makes me a little bit cautious to take on here massive, huge altcoin positions, and I rather do it from a point of strength when Bitcoin dropped already, and then when Bitcoin is done with dropping, then I will get in. So that is my plan for now, that when I see Bitcoin going down and I see Bitcoin bouncing, that is the moment where I want to get in. And in the meantime, I don't really care so much. I might take some trades here and there, but I will be really cautious with that. And you should be too, because this is just the beginning. You don't want to get sidelined now when the altcoin actually starts, and go in with 20x leverage and get liquidated, with all your money. You don't want to do that. I'd rather trade with 3, 4, 5x right now. Even 5x might be in some coins too much, especially meme coins. Just a warning here: no meme coins with 5x right now. You will get wrecked when the market drops. So, but like 3, 4x is kind of okay, So I'm not using more leverage right now. and until I see Bitcoin dropped and had a bounce. And on that bounce, there you can crank up the leverage. So also here, alt season is finally coming when we close in 2 days and 11 hours. This weekly candle on Ethereum, remember what I told you weeks ago, months ago. I said when we finally get above this upward sloping trend line, which was acting here so big as resistance, and we get here a God candle like this, and we actually close it, expect straight continuation to the upside because we were suppressed for such a long time. Let me see here. Since when? The last time we were above that line, 5 years ago. So that was the last time when we got a run from this line. So now, 5 years later, imagine the run that we will get 5 years later. You know, so 5 years ago was the last time that we were above that after we broke here. So there is a massive altcoin run coming, guys, and this might be just a start. So that's why I'm saying don't fire everything away right now. Be a little bit cautious, you know. So, and also the altcoin season index is at 27. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So why would you risk everything right now in the beginning? You know, do it step by step. You know, here a little bit, there a little bit. You know, keep adding to your positions. Wait for that drop in Bitcoin or that pullback. Pullback is more accurate actually. Wait for the pullback, then we shoot our pulver, you know, and still keep something on the side for bad rainy days. Now no, this is not the chart that I wanted. Total free market cap, yeah, really quick here. So we are at $926 billion. If we can break this level here today or tomorrow, I think we go straight up to 984 billion. So and then that is the only moment when I see tomorrow here a candle moving above that level where I will go a little bit bigger on my altcoin positions because I know we're going to get that continuation candle for tomorrow. But only then. If I see that we are starting to kind of wobble around here tomorrow and the candle is going up and down like a yo-yo over that line, not interested. Not really interested to trade anything because there's no money, you know, really pushing anything, you know. So and that's why I don't want to do that. But if I see here the candle moving like this, then yes, then I'm interested. Then I find some setups that we can trade. So and if you want to trade altcoins, guys, do it on Bybit. You still get $30,000 in sign up and deposit bonuses with the link in the pin comment below, in the description below. And the Bybit card, want to mention that again, 20% right now, cash back on your Bybit card if you can get one. And now while I have a lot of you on the live stream, if you have a Bybit, if you're in Europe and you have a .com account, you will have to switch to Bybit.eu. You can use the same email address. You get straight away a reward if you do that because they're going to force you anyway to do that by the end of the year. Leverage everything will be still there on Bybit.eu. You have everything what you have on .com, most of the things at least. If not, they will come later this year. You will not miss out on anything. Anybody else, not concerned. You know, don't concern yourself with that. Only if you're in Europe, live in Europe, born in Europe, right now in Europe, that's when you have to do that, you know, so otherwise you don't. I'm European, but I'm not living there, so I'm fine, you know, but otherwise I would also have to do that. Now Ethereum broke it to the upside with a really nice juicy candle. We are here over halfway through the trading setup to $3,177. Right now what I would do if I would be in this trade here, like many of you guys, set your stop loss at 2,912 or at 2,888. These are the two levels where I would currently set my stop loss at in juicy profits from the original entry. So that is 6% roughly from an overall 15.79% trade. So, but if you went in here with 10x leverage, you know, so it's all, yeah, 60% that you secure right now in profits. So there's nothing bad about taking profits, even if you get kicked out. Then you just wait for a turnaround, you go back and trade the continuation. But right now, yeah, that is how I would trade here Ethereum in the next coming hours, because also here, look on the RSI, we are overbought and forming here also bearish divergence right now. Here on the daily chart, here you see on the stochastic RSI that we are putting in a sell signal. The RSI is losing momentum. price is not really pushing higher. Why? Because here is a resistance area at $3,016. And that's why we are not really going higher right now. So if we are pulling back here, most likely coinciding with Bitcoin, then for Ethereum, it will be a more shallow pullback, in my opinion, because we are now really close to Ethereum season. And it will only get into that green box here, 2,770 to 2,630, somewhere in between there is where we're going to get that bounce. So also there is the point where I would set my limit orders for continuation. And the VPVR has also here the most traded area in that section, so a part of that, which makes it again a really strong support area that will at some point get retested. So if that test is successful, we bounce from there, get continuation to the upside. Now Solana tries to stay above $165. I have also here my doubts that we are able to manage to do that here in the short term, which is absolutely fine because it gives us the opportunity to get here Solana one more time below $160. Most likely also here comes back into that area here, which was prior resistance, and actually really strong resistance, should be strong support from 157 to 154.7 approximately. So also there I'm gonna set some limit orders. And the trade setup that I had given here a couple of days ago was of course successful now. So congratulations also here if you were able to take the trade. The RSI is absolutely flying here. It's also overbought. The MACD is flying. Oh, and there Bitcoin goes down. There Bitcoin goes down, guys. Now we're gonna see. Now we're gonna see altcoins holding up right now pretty well. I see it here on my other screen where I have the Bitcoin price. Let me see, 50 minutes chart. Where was the 50 minutes chart? Here, there, you see Bitcoin moving down right now. So this is exactly what I meant, guys. You know, so that's why I'm cautious with my positions right now, because I knew that this is going to happen. I have seen it so many times during bull runs, a situation like that I knew that this is going to happen. Oh, wow. So now the question is, how much continuation are we getting? Oh, this is even not the 50 minutes chart. Where's my 50 minutes chart gone? Otherwise, make me one now. Yeah, come here. So yeah, another 11 minutes. I think that this will not go that much lower. That will maybe go down to 116,900, maybe $700, something like that. And then potentially already turn around here from that order block. From that small order block, I expect some support, some life sign that bulls are stepping in from there and pushing this a little bit up again, making another lower high, and then we see things going to escalate a little bit into lower areas here. So let's go back to altcoins. So I was here at Solana here, that's where we were. So here on the 4-hourly chart, you see also the stochastic is already pointing to the downside. The MACD is losing momentum. And here, for our bump and run pattern, what is missing here? The throwback to the trend line. So do I believe that we come all the way back down here to $153? It can potentially happen, but I would not bank on that. So if you were waiting for that breakout here above that trend line to enter now a Solana trade, and you are only, let me put it this way, you only have seen Solana around the current price level today, then I can tell you here, the neckline of that inverse head and shoulders pattern here, that is the level where you're most likely going to get an entry from. 158, 157, somewhere around these numbers. Like I said, maybe 155, around these numbers. That's where you're going to get your entry for that major swing trade here of $323. And here also something that I want to point out, guys. The last time, if Solana needed only 6 days to go from $180 to $300. So it can go really quickly here, that Solana just explodes and rips through all these levels. Even though I'm not counting on that right now, but I just want to put it out there, guys. You know, I want to put it out there. It can go really quickly because look over here. So here, $168, $295. This was 6 days, guys. 6 days. 14th of January. 19th of January, 5 days even, 5 days. It can go really, really quickly. So that's why you don't want to miss out to get in here on that small pullback before you potentially get another liftoff like that to the upside. But I want to mention here that was of course also fueled by the meme cycle, you know, so a lot of meme coins were helping there to push that to the upside. So here, one of the altcoins that I'm looking currently at to build a position for is Aptos. We have broken this downward sloping trend line. I have earlier today missed that break above the trend line to enter this, and then it looked already to me a little bit overextended here on a stochastic, on the MACD, and also here on the RSI. That looks overextended to me. So we could get here a throwback also here to that trend line before we lift off back to $4.80, which is just a 4% move to the downside, a little bit less than 4%. Oh wow, bulls are really strong on Bitcoin, buying everything up again, insane. Just seeing that here out of that angle to my other screen over there. Yeah, but crazy how that gets pushed back up here. Yeah, so if you want to trade here safely, Aptos, the safest entry is here, $5.10 to $6.28. That is the trading setup, guys. So if you want to take a little bit more risky trade, like I will potentially do, then I would just wait for the throwback to the trend line and enter from there and trade this whole setup. So, but what I will not do is, I will not enter in between here. I will not enter somewhere in between here. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that because it can go either way for you. You don't know. So it will eventually go up at some point, you know. So, but it could go down for a long time, and then you lose a lot of time that you could have been in other coins in the market, and that is opportunity cost. You don't want to have opportunity cost in a bull run. Then SUI, also here our trade setup has already completely played out to $3.43 that I mentioned. Here also top is forming currently just under the golden ratio. Stock here RSI overbought, overextended, bearish divergence slightly forming. Stochastic flatlining, MACD losing momentum. Also here pullback most likely to $3.20. So a 10% move to the downside is something that I would not be surprised of. So that is here most likely the pullback zone from where you can add to a SUI position before we go higher. Unless, and this is important guys, unless you see SUI consolidating here in that area and SUI stays above $3.35 and the stochastic comes down here. So that will take potentially 12 to 20 hours to see that. But if you see that the stochastic comes down at least to close to 50–40% and price is just ranging here, then I will enter from there, because then we are just bull flagging and cooling the indicators down before we get the next leg to the upside, but only then. Next one, Link retesting right now a really huge resistance area from the past, from all the way over here. Also here I expect rejection to the downside. The trade setup that I've given overall played out. I had personally taken that trade, made good money on that this morning. I closed it, I think, 3 cents before the target because we looked there already a little bit weak, and then we just kept pushing higher, which is fine. If you did take the trade, amazing, congratulations again. We made here a lot of money in the last 24 and 48 hours, and we will keep doing so. So here for Link, the next level that I'm looking at is $4.30. Also here, just gonna pull here another line quick. $14.30. That might be a level that you should put your eyes on. So why? Because that was also here prior support over here, here, then here it broke that support, deviation, and now we broke that resistance again to the upside. So now on the way back down, this should act as support, and from there I expect that bounce back in direction of $20. Then Hyperliquid smashed here all the way up to $45.90, which was my target. I personally went out at 42 because I was not sure if we can push all the way through here with the way that the stochastic was looking today. As you can see here, we came down here a little bit, and in this kind of dent of of the stochastic here, up here, that is where I exited. I was like, I'm not seeing that going higher, and then it went almost 8% higher than from where I exited. But I'm fine, you know, I'm fine with the profit that I made, because now it will cool down again. It will come back down, most likely here to 42.70, 41.50, somewhere there, because the indicators, again, completely overextended on the 4-hourly chart. The daily is not looking much better here. So here we, yeah, so with today's daily candle close, maybe you get a topping candle tomorrow, and then it starts reversing to the downside. So I have not much time left here, because my girlfriend is coming over soon. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 coins. Post me 5 coins in the chat really quick, guys. Or let's make it free, that that you want me to have a look at for a potential bounce area where you can add again to your coins, or open new positions, coins that we did not talk about yet. Actually, I don't know what happened with coins that I wanted to talk about, that I had charts open earlier with. Here's one, CRV. So, and while, okay, so let me do a quick CRV. So CRV broke this downward sloping trend line here from the overall downwards parallel channel, which is in itself really bullish, but look here on the 12-hourly chart where the RSI is, also heavily overextended. Also here I expect a pullback. Pullback most likely will come back down here to 60 cents, 58 cents, something like that. Then turn around, then push higher back to $1 in my opinion. So let me have a look at XRP. So XRP, somebody also mentioned XRP to me today, and I wanted to have a look at, because I have also some XRP. Oh, I had also some levels still here. Oh wow, $2.73. This is crazy. I saw earlier $2. Was it still 38? No, it was $2.53, I think, what I saw. Yeah, this morning, $2.53, I think, at some point. That's what I saw. Yeah, also way too high already to enter this right now. On the daily chart. Yeah, so here, if XRP can get above today, has to be today. If XRP can get above $2.80, roughly $2.79 today, I would potentially open an XRP trade. Otherwise, area from where we're going to get a bounce here. This is the area that you want to look at. $2.58, $2.65. That is where you want to look for that bounce. It most likely going to happen. Something like this here. Even if we go a little bit higher, this is what I see happening here. Then in the not so distant future, kind of that pattern. So you have here a rounding bottom, then we push higher past $3. When we are past $3, we're gonna fly to 5. So let's have a look at AVAX. So I have somewhere here an AVAX chart, if I'm not mistaken. Do I still have it? No, but I have it when we are looking here at it. There's AVAX. Yeah, so I had a small AVAX trade running that I closed at $21 with the guys in the challenge, in the $500 to $10,000 challenge group. They closed the trade at $21. The swing trade setup is still here absolutely intact. And here we are not overextended yet. So we are just warming up for AVAX. So there is a bigger candle is still coming. So these 3 candles that we had here right now, they are nothing. So I wait for a candle like here, like this. So this, how much was that? $23 to $26. So yeah, that is a 12% candle. So yeah, a 10% candle is what I'm waiting for on AVAX to be happening. It could happen tomorrow, could happen after tomorrow. But when it's happening, that's when I want to be in that. Now to get a better understanding, stochastic, so let's see where we're at here. And then we go back. Okay. Okay. Yeah, also here short-term pullback in my opinion. So, and let's see where we are going to. Yeah, 4 hourly, heavily overextended. most likely back to this upward sloping trend line to $19.80, $20.32, something like that. That's where we're going to get a bounce from into then here $36. So there might be another pullback at around $27.80, but if you enter from $19, $20, you don't really care about like a 10% pullback anymore because you're still up 20% plus leverage. So why would you be concerned with that? So, and then I see here Cardano, that will be the last one. Then I need to go because what my girlfriend doesn't know is I did not clean here yet, so I have to clean a little bit before she is coming. And I want to be done with that before she's showing up here. Cardano also right now at a resistance, and that's something that I want to mention here. Many coins are sitting at the same resistance right now. Go to a coin on a daily chart and set a horizontal line like this here on most of these coins, and you're going to see that they are retesting right now here a resistance. And only if you see here a daily candle going above that and closing above that, that's where you want to enter. You could still run the risk that it then turns around one more time and then comes back up and then starts running. But there's many coins that will just leave you behind in the dust and do something like this. So that's why I'm gonna take positions at many coins around that trend line here, while I keep money on the side if they are actually dropping lower to add more to them. So but right now here stochastic looks cooked. The RSI can still go a little bit higher. The MACD inferior also, but you should not ignore that we're here at major resistance levels, key resistance levels, month-long resistance levels on many coins. So and that's why I expect overall that small pullback before we get here a nice continuation move. And a huge indicator for that is usually the 4-hourly chart when you see here something like this on the RSI and the stochastic, while the MACD is still flying. So that's why always pay attention to these things. Guys, that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for tuning in here. And don't forget, stay rich. And don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And I'll see you with more money, hopefully, in your portfolio tomorrow.